Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. And it's for Sunday, the 24th day of August. Here we go. Today, a couple of laws about the holiness of God's name. One example would be if you have in your lexicon, like you're used to saying, oh my, I'm just going to say it once just to teach it to you, the expression, oh my God, that's not a good expression for you to have in your language ever, because that, if you say that expression, you're using God's name in vain. It's the only time I'm going to say it in this halacha, because it's not proper to say it. I just wanted to show you that expression. Don't use it, because that's using God's name in vain, even though it is in English. You should replace it by saying, oh my gosh. That's not the same expression, and you're allowed to say that one. That's not a nickname for the Creator's name. So just don't use God's name in vain, and don't say that old expression, and get it out of your language if you used to say it. Also, you should not be in the habit of writing G-O-D on papers or notes to people or anything like that, because it could end up in the trash, and you don't want to do that to God's name. Incidentally, if it's in something that's not being printed, like just on a computer screen, that's not really a problem according to most rabbis, because that's not really writing. But if it's in an email and you know someone might print that out, well then yeah, then maybe just write G-D in all those types of situations where it is in print or it might end up in print, because you don't want it to end up in the trash. G-D is not God's name. That's just like alluding to it, and that would be an appropriate way to write it. Also, you should not make a bracha she'eina tzricha. That means a bracha that's not necessary, because that too is using God's name in vain. That would be like, let's say you made the bracha of sha'akol niyeh b'dvaro because you were having a drink, and then a little while later you decide to eat some cheese, which also has that same bracha. Well, if you just keep making the bracha of sha'akol niyeh b'dvaro over and over and over for all the items that are brought in front of you, you didn't think it out properly. Think at the beginning of the meal, I'm having some eggs, some cheese, some drink, and they all have the bracha of sha'akol niyeh b'dvaro. I'm going to make one bracha and think that this is for the cheese I'm about to ingest, it's for the milk I'm about to drink, it's for the, I don't know what else that's shahakol that I'm about to have. Then fine, do that, but don't make a bracha over and over and over where one bracha could have sufficed for all of those items. If you're going to have pretzels and cookies and cake, then Borei Minim Mizonos is the bracha for all of them. Make that bracha once and think out in advance that it's to cover all the others. Otherwise, it's called a bracha she'eina tzricha, which is a bracha that didn't need to be made, and that's like using God's name improperly. If you ever did say a bracha she'eina tzricha or a bracha in vain or something like that, it would be appropriate for you to immediately say after it, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed. That's the second line of Shema. Whenever you have inadvertently desecrated God's name by saying His name in vain, you can say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed after it, and that kind of now honors God's name, and it somewhat fixes the problem that you just did. If you ever by mistake say the words Baruch Atah and then God's name, and then you realize, uh-oh, the water that I was about to drink out of this water fountain, well, the water fountain's not working, or something like that. So you just said the words Baruch Atah Hashem for nothing. Then you should immediately say right after them, like right away, the words Lamdeni Chukecha. Because watch me here, whenever you say a full phrase out of our Torah, you're allowed to say God's name in it, because you're teaching a full phrase of Torah. So the phrase Baruch Atah Adonai Lamdeni Chukecha, that's a pasuk, that's a sentence straight out of Psalms, out of Tehillim, and you're allowed to say that one. So if you ever catch yourself by mistake saying Baruch Atah and God's name, finish it off by saying Lamdeni Chukecha, and you have just completed a bracha, and then it would be proper. So try to do that if you ever catch yourself in the middle of a mistake. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.